Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Crypt, and today I'm doing something very different. As some of you may know, hopefully, I am a 3D Fortnite artist, which basically just means that I work in Blender with Fortnite models and do all sorts of posing, whatever. I'll put up some stuff that I've done on screen in the past week or so. But, anyways, I'm going to show you guys how you can get started and how to port, texture, rig models yourself. So first, what you're going to need to do is download UModel. This link will be in the description. Basically, just download the Win32 right here, or if you have a Linux computer, download that. But once it's downloaded, you should get a folder with these two. Let me go ahead and show you UModel and SDL2. What you're gonna want to do is wherever you downloaded Fortnite, so it could be in your C drive or your D drive, whatever you have, wherever you have Fortnite installed, click on that drive. Should be in like program files 86, and then you should find Epic Games. I'm not 100% because I have it on my D drive. Open up Fortnite game, content, packs, and drag UModel and SDL2 into the packs folder. So once you've done that, this is basically what's going to allow you to get the your Fortnite models, basically. So now what you're going to need to do is there'll be a link in the description for a PSK import, I believe it's called. It's a plugin for Blender, and once you download that, I don't have it. If maybe I'll just look it up real quick and grab it for you 1 second. So right here is the PSK import plugin. So you're just gonna want to click download right there. It'll download. You can show in folder and drag it to your desktop or somewhere. Open up Blender. Now I will tell you that what you're gonna need to do: download Blender 2.8. Of course, their link will be in the description, but Blender 2.8 is just the most updated version of Blender, and it's honestly a way better version of Blender. I have really never used 2.7 except for when I first started, and I find this to be a lot easier to use. But anyways, once you've downloaded your PSK import, go into File, go into Edit, Preferences, and then you should see add-ons. So go here, go to Install, go to Desktop or wherever you have the PSK import, and then download or click on it, and then click on Install Add-on from File up here, and which it'll install the add-on, and it should do it automatically. I am pretty sure it should. I already have it all installed. But anyways, next thing you're going to want to do is once you have all of that installed, the PSK import and UModel, basically what you're going to want to do is, of course, go into your UModel, and once you have this popped up on your screen, click on Override Game Detection, and then click on this drop down, click on Unreal Engine 4, then click on Fortnite. So right there it should say Fortnite in that drop down, and then go right here, engine classes to load, common classes, right here uncheck light maps and click OK. Now you're going to need the AES key. You'll see a lot of leakers post these once updates drop normally. But what you're going to want to do is go into, well, right now I use Lurks' Discord. You can really find AES keys, honestly, if you just look them up. There's updated lists for them. But the most recent one, so AES key for 9.4 is the most recent one. So what you're going to want to do is grab that AES key, and usually they'll update. These are just AES keys for cosmetics, but make sure you get an AES key for 9.4 or the most recent patch or update, and then just paste it right there, and it'll start loading. And once it opens up here, click on flat view and check that box. So for this tutorial, I'm honestly just going to port Moisty Merman because I feel, well, yeah, well, I'm just going to port, you know what, actually, how about this? For this tutorial, I'm going to port Jonesy, which is just the normal default, so you guys can properly rig a model, because I know when I first started, I had no clue what I was doing. So what you're going to want to do is look up, so in this filter box, look up Jonesy head mesh, space it all out. I would like to point out really quick that you can look at all of the IDs for UModel in the I'll put a link in the description. Basically, it just shows you all of the CIDs for all of the skins, and you basically will just have to type those into UModel for a certain skin. Some skins actually do use just the default skin with a different texture. There's tutorials for all that. If you do need help, I am 100% like, just DM me on Twitter. Again, that is in the description, so if you need help with anything in this video, please don't hesitate to ask me. Anyways, back to the video. And then it should be the first one, and you'll find a Jonesy head mesh. Click Tools, Options, and right here is where it will export. So export to this folder. Select a folder, and this folder is where all of the meshes will be exported. All the textures will be exported. So make sure you have a folder which you can easily find selected. Click Tools, Export Current Object, and it'll export. Now click O on your keyboard, then type in Soldier 04 mesh. This is just the default mesh for characters, and the mesh should be right here. You'll see on the side it says size KB, which is just how many kilobytes each mesh is, or each file size is. It should be 1228 kilobytes. Click on that one and it will be the body mesh, and then just again export. Now you can click on Blender, and now this is where you actually import the model. So click on File, Import, PSK, then go to Desktop and click whatever folder, wherever you may have it. Click on the folder that you exported the mesh to. Then click on Game, Characters, Player, Male or Female, Medium, Bodies, and then go to wherever. So the name of the mesh will be right here. So I've ported, of course, Raven, Hasavat, I've ported Cryptic, Durburger Worker, Doggus, whatever. But this, of course, will be where you've exported your mesh or whatever. So then click on the Soldier 04 or whatever you ported, and then of course PSK, and it'll open up. It'll port this into Blender. So this is just the body mesh. So now what you're going to want to do is import PSK, and just click this back arrow a few times until you get bodies and heads, and then this time click on heads, Jonesy head, meshes, and then Jonesy head. So this is honestly for me where it gets fun. So now what you do is select the head, hold shift and right click the body, go up here, click object, and then go down to shade smooth. And I'm gonna go a little bit slow. I know how tutorials can be a little fast paced, but again, that's object and then shade smooth after you've selected both parts. And you can see how now it's there was a lot of polygons before and it wasn't, and now it's actually smooth shaded and everything. So now what you're gonna want to do is click on right here. These are the bones. So or you can go on the side. This is way easier. So what you're gonna want to do is, I'll pull up this so you guys can actually see right here. On the side, you'll see the bones. These are the bones with a little like stick figure guy. This will always be the bones. These are the bones, and then this, if you click the drop down, this is the mesh. This little triangle thing. So that's the mesh. So what you're gonna want to do is just click on this. Make sure you have Jonesy's head selected, or whatever character model you're porting. Select the head, hold shift, and then select the body, which is MedSoldier04. Then Control J. So now that you've combined both the body and the head bones, and now they're basically just one rig. So what you're going to want to do now is click on the head, hold shift, so the head should be selected, hold shift, right click the body right here, and then Control J again. Now what you're going to want to do is select the bones so that the bones are selected in orange now. Now up here it should say object mode, where at the very top left it says object mode. Click on that, click on edit mode, then you can zoom in if you want. I'm just gonna so you guys can see it. Right click on the head, and up top here you can see how it says head. Click this bone, click the head bone again until it says head 001. You can see up top, probably zoom in so you can see it better, but it says head 001. That means right now there are overlapping bones. So now what you do is click select up top, select similar suffix. So again, select, and then all the way down says similar, and then suffix. Now click the delete key on your keyboard. You have to actually click the delete key underneath home, all by your number pad basically. So click that delete button, and then this will pop up. Click on bones, and now all of these, now it's actually going to be able to work properly since there's no overlapping bones, whatever. Now there's another bone underneath this head bone right here. So this is the head bone, and then somewhere right here there should be a face attached bone. Again, you'll always know what bone you've selected. If you look up on the top left, it'll say like MedSoldier face attach, or if I click on the jawbone, it'll say jaw, and so etc. So click on the face attach, hold shift, right click the head bone, then Control P, and then click on, this will pop up again, keep offset. And what this will do is it'll actually connect the head so that, see, I'll show you what happens if you don't do this. Basically, if you don't do this, then it'll look like this, and it won't be right. So again, you go into edit mode, select the face attach bone, then shift, head bone, Control P, keep offset. Now, if your character has hair, like if you see up top there's a bunch of bones up here with hair, and I should have honestly picked a model that had hair bones. Basically what you're going to want to do is select all of the hair bones, and after you've selected all of the hair bones, again in edit mode, so select all of the hair bones, then select head, shift and then head, and then Control P, and that'll parent all the hair bones to the head, and it'll work properly. So now what you're going to want to do is on the side here, right here there's like an orange box. Click on that, and then on scale X, Y, and Z, so where it says 1, 1, 1, click on one of them, and then type 0.011. Same thing with Y, and then Z, so it will say 0.011. Now you're like, where'd the model go? Click the period key on your keyboard, where on the numpad, it should be on your numpad, or yeah, it should be on your numpad. And if you don't have that, I'm not 100% sure what you would click. If you have a 60% keyboard or whatever those are, I'm not sure what you would press. You could look that up. If there is, if I do find out a way or anything, I'll put it in the comments or in the description so you guys can look there. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to figure that out. But yeah. Now, this model is untextured, so of course what you're going to want to do to texture this, and so you're going to be able to see the textures, because right now if you texture it you won't be able to see the textures. So what you're going to want to do is, up top here on the top right, there is a bunch of little buttons, and you can see there's like an XYZ thing to rotate right here. Go up here, and I think I should honestly, I should have said this at the start of the video on how to like really control your camera. So of course the scroll wheel, you click the scroll wheel and you can look around, hold shift and then hold the scroll wheel and you can like look left and right like this, and then you can zoom in and out and all that good stuff. That's basically all. You just need the scroll wheel and then of course shift. That's really all you need to control your camera. But anyways, on the top right there is this little white circle that you have selected. Right next to that is the material display, so click on that and he'll turn a bright, like an actual white instead of gray. So now what you're going to want to do is right in that same area go over, and when you go over right here you'll get a plus. Your cursor will turn into a plus. So once your cursor turns into a plus, at the very top right corner drag over and you should get a new display port or a new viewport, whatever. So click on this thing again on this side, where the second viewport is. On the very top left there is a editor type which you can select, and click on that, and then from here go down to shader editor and it'll pop up this little chart. And this was very confusing at first, but again, make sure you're using Blender 2.8. that will be in the description, because this, I don't think it works exactly like this on 2.7. So if you're on 2.7 you will not be seeing what I'm seeing. Anyways, check use nodes. At the very top it says use nodes and it should be grayed out. Click check mark. Now this is the texturing. These are the texturing nodes. So these are all the nodes that you're going to need to texture your model. Make sure you have it selected so it's outlined in orange. And this is an easier way, so you won't, once you have these all of course connected so you can't select the head and the body separately, go down here to the side. You see my cursor, where this orange box was. If you go all the way down, there's a red circle, and this is the material tab. So once you click on the materials, you'll see that there's duplicates of these. Now what I do is, for the body, of course there's two. I'll just click the X on that. You don't have to ignore that. That's just, it makes it a little easier, but you don't have to. So if you're gonna texture the body first, which is what I'm gonna do, you click on the body. But if you want to texture the head next, you'll click on the head, click on use nodes again, then the hair, same thing. So these are all the different materials and different parts of the character that you'll be texturing. But I'm gonna do the body first. So what you're gonna want to do is right here, I'm gonna make it bigger for you guys. Click, hold Shift A, and then this will pop up. Click on texture, image texture, and just put it right here. Click open, and right here go to where your body mesh is. So my body mesh, of course, there'll be a little tab right here that says recents. It'll just be right here. Click the back arrow, then you'll see textures right there. Now click on body. Now for Jonesy, his normal texture, there'll be D, N, S, and sometimes M, but for Jonesy there is a C instead of a D texture, but that's fine. And it all goes into base color. So drag this yellow circle down to base color right there, and you'll see that the model is textured now. And we have a lot more to do. So for reflections, and if your model happens to have metallic parts like the dog tags, or say for Raven, his claws are metallic, all that will be done right here again. So you can either Shift A and texture again, or you can just click on this, Control C, Control V, and then drag it down. Click on this X right here if you copy and pasted. Otherwise, just click Open again, Textures, then click right here. I should have probably said this the first time, but make sure you have D as the first one. So now click on Soldier Body S.TGA. This is the subsurface color. So now what you're going to want to do is, you'll see it says color space right here, and it says RGB. Click on that and make sure you have non-color selected. Now drag the color to subsurface and add a new node. Same thing, but this time click on body N. This is the normal map, or the normal texture. So now you'll see it looks really weird. Again, click on non-color. Now what you're going to want to do is hold Shift and then A. Now right under texture, click on color, go over RGB curves, then just drag it right here. This must go where N is. So right with color, and I should have pointed this out. The N texture goes to normal, and the S texture goes to subsurface color, but that's just for now. So, but anyways, drag RGB curves right here. Now what you're going to want to do is click on the G, so there will be a G right there. And then right here, there's like a little thing that it's a little dot. Slide that dot all the way to the other corner, and then there's a dot down here. Slide that to the other corner, so it's the opposite. So now you can see the model change a little bit. Shift A. This time go to vector, which is right under color. Then click on normal map, and then drag it up here, and it'll snap in place again. And now you can see it looks a lot nicer. Now what you're going to want to do is, you're done with the normal texture. You're done with this. So go up to the S texture now, and Shift A, go down right under vector, converter, then click on separate RGB. It should be right down in the middle right here. Separate RGB. Drag it up, it'll snap in place. Now right here, drag from the yellow dot on subsurface color and just drag it back, and basically that'll remove that. So for G, for the green map, drag it to metallic. So right here, you'll drag the green node, the green dot, or the gray dot where the G is, drag it up to metallic, then drag the blue right here over to specular. So it should look like that. And so there, now the dog tags have a little shine to them, and anything that was metallic is now a little shiny, and you're basically done. Now the last thing is right here. This is basically if you just want the skin tone to match the head, because sometimes it doesn't, and you have to do this yourself. So right here, where it says choose package again, you just search Soldier 04, and then I just type in texture M, and it shouldn't be too hard to find. Usually it's fairly, I mean, you don't have to do this. Again, this is just for, unless I look like a complete idiot, and I have it here, which it looks like I don't. So if you don't really care, which I'm pretty sure the skin tone for Jonesy in game doesn't even match, so that's the case with a lot of characters. So if the characters look off in Blender, and I'll show you what I mean. The head is that's a darker skin tone, and I'm pretty sure that's just what he looks like in game too. So you don't really have to worry about that. Again, I could try to find it for you, but you do have to scroll down a good bit to actually get it. And all of these are just skins. So skins for like Galaxy and stuff. These are all skins for just oh, I think I have it. No, that is his head. Yeah, I don't no, you don't really have to. Again, that's honestly optional. So basically right here you're pretty much done with that. So on the nodes, on the little grid where you just finished all your nodes, click A, then Control C. Then on the side where I showed you all the textures, click on Soldier Head. This is his head. Now on this grid again, you'll see that these are nodes, but click A and then delete, and it'll delete again. The delete on the right side of your keyboard, not the backspace, delete, or wherever you may have delete. Anyways, now what you're going to want to do is Control V, and this is what I do at least, so I don't have to do these nodes again. But what you'll see now is that this is his body texture, so just click on the X right here. There'll be an X, and just click on that for all of them. And you'll see now it's just he's completely untextured. So click on Open Textures, and you'll see if you click on his head, the textures won't be here, at least for Jonesy. So you click on the textures that you had on Recents, but most times the textures will be located where the head mesh was. So you'll find the textures folder right here, but go to textures for the body, and then you'll see the head textures. So the hair is a little bit different, and I'll show you that, but you can see already that the head is a lot darker. The head skin tone is a lot darker. But anyways, then go down to this next one, and click Open Textures, then go click on the S texture. And then where it says RGB, you'll have to click on non-color again. And then same thing for the last one, except this time it's the N texture. And then again, non-color. So I guess actually, I mean, you can tell his face is a bit darker than his body skin color. But honestly, that's how it is in game, so you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. I don't, honestly, unless it's like a model like Power Chord where her face is noticeably different from her skin color, which here it's not very noticeable. So now that's done, and you didn't have to do all this extra, you didn't have to redo all these nodes, which is very helpful. But I do recommend at first you keep doing the nodes over and over from scratch so you learn how to do the nodes, because it took me a little bit to get the hang of it. And keep in mind, if you do have the M texture, that for right here, for where the C or D or whatever texture this is, if you have an M texture, press Shift A, go to Color, go to RGB Curves, put this right here and it'll snap. Then Shift A, Texture, Image Texture, Open, click on the M texture that you have, which I don't have, I'm just giving you an example. Click Shift A again, click on Converter, separate RGB, and make sure you have non-color selected, of course. Drag the color to Image. Then right here, you grab the blue, or where the B is, and you drag it down to the FAC. And you just basically, you drag this up and down, and that'll change the lightness or darkness of the head. Keep in mind, that you'll most likely do this for the body, not the head, although sometimes it will be the head that you do this for. But in this case, the body's skin tone is a lot lighter than the head's, so you'll need to do it like that. Or you can, of course, if you really want the head to be, you know, whiter or whatever, you can do that. But that was just an example. If you had an M texture, that's all you need to do. But now, click on his hair on the side again. Then A, delete, Control V. Now click on the X. And this time, you click on the head. And actually, I think I'm going to have to grab the textures for the hair. I'm pretty sure. No, let's... Give me 1 second. I'm gonna figure this out. I believe it... Actually... Yeah, give me 1 second and I'll try to figure this out. Okay, guys, so I figured it out. It's very weird because it's not... So, click on game. So go to desktop or wherever you have the folder where you ported the mesh. Click on the folder, game, and then packages. No, my bad. Characters, survivors, male, small, survivor 01, textures, and then the textures will be right here for the hair. So the D texture, which is very weird. I didn't really know that. I don't know why it's a whole separate folder. But yeah, so that's where the hair is. And then again, textures, hair, S, and then non-color, and then hair, N, and then non-color. So he is now completely textured, and there you go. Congratulations, you have textured your first character in Blender, I think. Or properly, at least. You've properly ported your first Fortnite model. So now I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna tell you something very important. So what you're gonna need to do is at the top, at the very top in the middle here, it says global. There will be a bunch of little buttons in the middle in the top of the screen. It'll say global. Click on that, then click on local. You always need to do this. If you have it on global, you won't be able to pose the model as well. I'm gonna get to posing and lighting in a second, but make sure you have it on local. Now, to save your model, click on File at the very top, then go to External Data, and you always need to do this, or External Data. You always need to do this. Where External Data is, you go over and click on Pack All into .blend. What this will do is it will make sure the textures don't, you know, a lot of the times the textures, when I save a model and then reopen it, the model will be all pink, and I'll have to retexture the model. So that always when you're saving a model, File, External Data, Pack All into Blend. Alright, now you can go over to File, Save As, and then go to Desktop, name it Jonesy or whatever skin you have, and save as Blender file. And there you go, your model is now saved to your desktop, and you have access to it whenever. You just go to File, Open, and then, you know, find your Blender file. And if you want to open another model, I know a lot of people don't know how to do this. If you have multiple models, click on Append right here. Then go find where your other model is. I have a whole folder of models. Then click on the skin that you want. Go down to Object right here. Then click on MO. This is very important. Don't click on AO. Double click on MO. And you'll see that the model, of course, I'll have to scale this one down, but I'm not going to do all that. So anyways, now I'm going to show you guys how to light and give your character, you know, good lighting. Alright guys, Now I'm going to be showing you how to properly light a model. Now this is, of course, I'm no expert, but this is just some good lighting that you can give your character or, you know, models, whatever you want to do with that. So right here, I'll just select the model so I have all of this. On the side here, on this side panel where I've showed you guys how to click on where the textures are and stuff, at the very top right here, there should be a camera icon. There's like 4 grays. It's at the very top basically. It says render. Right here it'll say Eevee on render engine. Click on that and go down to cycles. You'll see the difference here with cycles. It's like it's a higher render quality, I believe. And Eevee, if I click on Eevee, you see here that there's like no, you know, right here you can see there's like I don't know what to call it. It's not like a delay, but you can see how it looks really weird how Jonesy moves out of his outline and whatever. But make sure you have it on cycles, higher quality. And if you're wondering how I'm doing that, at the very top here, this is what you'll need to do to see your lighting. Very top left, or excuse me, very top right, it's right here. It's the shader mode, whatever. It's just like this little outline of a circle, basically. It's like an outline of a sphere. Alright, lighting. So right here, what you're gonna want to do is Shift A, go down to light, click on sun, and this is the sunlight. Over here you'll see a bunch of little arrows and all this. Basically what these do is allows you to rotate. Control Z is to undo things, by the way, so if you wanted to undo, you can undo multiple things if you Control Z more than once. Just be careful, because I know if you Control Z more than once on accident, it's a no. I don't even really know how to go back on that, but anyways, go to these little arrows right here. You'll see there's a bunch. Go to the arrows, move it back, move the light back over so it's on the side, so it's relatively, you know, off to the side. Then move it down. I'll move it back a little more. Then right here, this will be the rotate, so you can rotate the light, rotate it up right there, so it's about his like right by his head. Goes off right there. So now what you can do is click on the shader mode, and you can see how you can now preview what it would look like lit. So this is the fill light. Right here, what you're gonna want to do is on the side there'll be a bunch, again on the side, make sure you have the sunlight selected right here on the side. This scene collection will be where all your things are. Click on sun, go down, there will be a green light icon once you have sun selected. Now it should say nodes, it should say use nodes. You click on that, and then you'll see strength and color. The strength is how bright it is, but make sure the strength is about 2. I'd say 2 is good. 2.0000. that was 4. 2000. Anyways, the color is of course the color. So if you're gonna work with like of course if the lighting is green, you know, but just leave it at white. Don't mess with the color for this light in particular. So now what you're gonna want to do is, I'm going back into material, so right here, click on light, add another sunlight, rotate it. You can see at the top, on the top left, when you rotate this, it'll show you how many degrees you've rotated it. Rotate it to about 90. It'll really never be perfect, and if you do want it to be perfect, you can go over to this orange box, and it'll say rotation XYZ. You can rotate it easily here to a perfect 90 degrees. Anyways, now if you guys, I'll get to that in a second actually. So go over here, move the sunlight over this way to the side, to the left side of Jonesy. Or of course, if you are, what I do is if I'm having the camera right here, if the camera is facing this way, the sun will be this way. But if I have the camera facing this way, then this fill light I'll put over here, and then this sunlight will be over here. So you just flip, basically, you just flip where the lights are, depending on the camera. You can really do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to me here. This is just some good lighting that I always really use. So right here, put the sunlight right here, so it's facing that way, 90 degrees, and then rotate it towards him. I usually rotate it a little bit towards him so that the light is more facing him. So a little thing for the sunlight, all of this side will be lit. So if you have a model, if this sunlight's right here, that doesn't mean that this little area is where the light is. This whole part of the map basically is lit up. So if you have a character all the way over here, it will be lit. He'll be lit, and you won't have to add more lights. So the sunlights are very important because there's a lot of area and radius and coverage basically. So go into shader mode again, and you'll see here. Go down, make sure again you have sun 001 selected. The more lights you have, there'll be 001, 02, 03, 04. Go down to this, and now you can see I have use nodes. So click on use nodes. Turn the strength up to, you can turn it to about 7 or however bright you want. Now click on color, and for sun, the sun is usually, I'll turn it to about here. This is normally, you don't have to, because you can see how drastically a sunlight's colors, the colors are very strong. So right here, just make it a slight orange. It represents the sun, of course. Very slight. Again, it'll be in the middle on white, very slightly down to orange, and you can see it looks like sunlight. You can make it brighter or dimmer depending on you're seeing. I'm just gonna put it to 8 right now. All right, so now I'm gonna put the camera down, and so that way I have a general idea of where I can put the area lights. So right click on your scene so that you deselect this light, and shift A, and then go down to camera, and it'll place a camera somewhere, which for some reason is over there. I guess that's because I clicked over there. What you're going to want to do is click 0 on your numpad. I believe it no, it just works on your numpad. So click 0, then shift grave. I'll put up a picture of what the grave looks like, but you're going to hold shift and then press grave. It's right by 1 under escape. It's just that key, a little squiggly. Shift and then that. And then you can move your camera freely now with WASD, and you just move forward and position your camera. You can position your camera like that, looking up on him, or you can go up here and look down, but I usually just position it like this, about like that. That's right there. That's perfect. So now you can zoom in, out, and you can get out of this by pressing the scroll wheel. So now click shift A, click on light. Now this time click on area. It'll be right there at the bottom. And again, the light shouldn't be over here for you, but it is for me because I clicked over here. You can actually, basically this little red circle will indicate where your next thing will place. So like your lights. So all you have to do is just left click if you really, But anyways, drag the area light down and behind Jonesy, or your model. Now what you're going to want to do is click rotate it about 90 degrees. That's good. And then wherever your camera is, so this little box is your camera. So rotate it so that this line basically looks directly at your camera. So that's perfect. All right. So Now, drag it a little bit back. And on the area light, if you go into the corners, you'll see these little smaller squares pop up. And you can now drag it and scale it up and down. Scale it up to be pretty big, so I'm going to say like that. So now the area light is fairly big. Now I'm going to go into shader mode and show you what this does. Basically, it just adds a little highlight, you can tell there. Make this light in particular, make it dim, so about, I'm going to say 4.5, that's what I'm going to make it. So it's just a little background light. It's just a rim light. You don't need it bright. It's just it's a simple highlight. I'm gonna make it 5.8 actually, and you can see it's just a little. Can't really tell. It's not supposed to be something that stands out a lot, as of course it just makes it pop a little more. So now that you have that, I'm gonna get to what is important for copying and pasting lights. So click Control C, V, and it'll be a darker shade of orange. Well, up here in the scene collection, click on area 001 and it'll go to a bright yellow. Reason that it is a dark orange is, you'll see I'll select this and then this. If I scale this down, actually, whatever. Make sure you have 001 selected, because then it'll mess with the other light, and you don't want to mess with the other light. So I'll actually, I think, no, okay. But after you've pasted it, select area 001. Scale this one down to about there. Move this over to, so right here you can see the border of this area light is right here. So right here, this is where your second one's gonna go, and now just rotate this over to about there. So it's not really facing, so it's like facing off that way, and then just rotate it down a little bit if you want to. Now you can see what this will do is it'll add a little bit of a rim light right here, and you can see if you make it brighter, you definitely can see that it lights this side of the model. Make it about, don't make it too strong. You don't want this light to be brighter because the light source is off to the other side. So just, make it fairly dim, and then you can make it again like a very orangish color, like what the sun's color is, of course. Alright, I actually forgot. I'll get to that in a second, actually. Now, go to the big area, Control C, Control V, and then click on area 002 at the top. Drag this over, scale this one down. This one needs to be bigger than the other one, so scale that down to about there. Drag it over. This one will be basically hitting Jonesy, so you can see the little line is right there. Then rotate it down, and then you can see that it lights this portion. So I'll give you a demonstration. See there. You can make this one fairly bright because this is where the light source actually is, and then make it the same color as the sun if you would like. Again, the sun is not white, it is tinted orange. It is a little tint there. Alright, the most important part. This is what makes your lighting absolutely incredible. This is what makes it pop. Oopsie, I didn't mean to slam that on the ground. I hope it didn't pick that up too well. Anyways, go to light. Another sunlight. This time, drag it above Jonesy. It really does. You don't have to drag it too far because again, it'll just be anywhere above it. It's not going to really affect anything. But usually, the closer an area light is, the more prominent the light is. So, of course, logic and that's how that works. But anyways, click on Sun 002. This is above Jonesy. This gives the top of the head. It gives just the top of him extra light. So you can see, I'll turn it to blue so you can see where the light is affecting. Basically it just actually looks pretty cool, but it affects the top. So it affects the top. I'll actually turn off this so you can see it better. But you can see it affects the top of Jonesy, and basically it just gives you, it just makes your, it just see, this is without it and this is with it. You can see it gives it a little, like, of course it'll stand out way better once you have posed the model. I'll show you how to do that now, which I should have done before. Usually you'll pose before you light, but you probably already know how to pose if you're watching this. You just needed a little help. But of course, you go up here, click on object mode where it says object, but make sure you have these bones selected. Make sure you have these bones selected. Go to object mode, click on pose mode, and make sure you have the rotation tool selected. These are all the bones. So right here, these are all the spine bones going down. I'll give you some basic, like, little movements what I do for renders. This is the pelvis. What I do with this is I usually rotate it that way, then rotate it back, and then this is for a lot of the girly poses. If you want to, like, you know, this is how I'd rotate it, like this way, and rotate the leg out that way, and then rotate this down. You can see what I'm getting at. It's like kind of a girly stance, you know. Usually I'll use that for, like, girl renders or girl characters. But yeah, so usually what I'll do is this, and once you've tilted the pelvis this way or whatever way, you grab the spine bones and rotate the green part, rotate this up, so you can see it gives him, you know, he is back straight now. But yeah, you can really just do what you want, and there's no limits, you know. You can do really whatever you want. You know, you could get some references from Google. You can pose in the mirror. Honestly, I do that, and I get up from my chair, pose. Yeah, usually I'll, like, get out of my chair, you know, look at my hand. Honestly, one of the most fun parts is the hand, but yeah, usually, like, since he's rotated back, it just looks weird how he's back like that. I'll grab, like, this spine bone, rotate this forward, you know, do that, and then I'll, like, rotate this that way, you know, just do some, like, whatever you want. There's no limits, guys. There's no limits to your creativity. Do whatever you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing I will say, really quick, is the eyes will not be posed correct. So, see, if you go and pose, I should have pointed this out earlier. When you move the head, right, look this way, you know, rotate it that way. If you rotate the eyes, you'll see that this is not normal. So go to edit mode, and then right here, I'll zoom in on this. Right here is the eyelid. Select this bone, the eyelid. Go down to this little wrench down here. It's a green wrench. Click on relations, and it says parent R_I. Click on that. Type in head. Click on head. And then same for the lower eyelid, and then on the other side as well. Left eye. Click on head. Type in head. And now if you go in the pose mode, you can see that the eye actually works like an eye. But yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it to the very end, thank you so much. I hope this helped you. Honest to God, I made this because I want to see more artists in this community, and I want to see people make amazing things. And I don't know why people haven't really made tutorials like this. Again, light how you want. Don't follow me. You don't have to use this exact lighting method. You know, whatever feels comfortable to you. Do whatever you want. The sky's the limit. But yeah, just enjoy it. That's the most important thing. If you enjoy doing this, continue to do it. And if you don't enjoy it, find something else. I'm sure that there's something out there, but I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, but only if you enjoyed the video, and only if this helped you. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter, because I post all of my art there, and link will be in the description for all that. Everything will be in the description, downloads, everything. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.